Ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, let's be real. Welcome to episode 4 of No Girls Allowed. I'm going to be running a little solo pod today. Everybody abandoned me. Eli wasn't feeling it today. He's on his own little journey of finding himself. Nikki wanted to go home. He's stressed to the gills. And then I actually just canceled on Wes. I told him, I was like, dog, I got too much shit going on, so just stay home. We're going to run a full pod with Southwest, power hitter, Christian rapper next week. So if you guys are a fan of Wes, be looking out for that. But yeah, just going to rock the solo today. I'm nervous, man, to be honest. I've always wanted to get into this type of content. I've always wanted to just have an opportunity to sit here and yap, because if you know me in real life, I'm a fucking yapper. I can just sit there and talk. And that's okay sometimes. I love yappers. What I don't like is people who are only yappers, I feel like I'm in this place of life where everybody's a yapper, but nobody's a doer, if you know what I'm saying. And I'm getting fed up with it. And this isn't aimed at anybody individually. I feel like anybody in my real life who listens to this is going to be like, is this motherfucker talking about me? No, I don't know. Things are changing so much faster than I can really get a grip on. And I'm finding myself becoming more reliant on other people. And it's a difficult situation. You know what I'm saying? But that's life. But anyways, man, yeah, I want to get into some of this solo stuff so I can really bare my soul to people. I want to be vulnerable. I want to be an open book. I want to cry on here today. You know what I'm saying? I want to get so fucking deep that even the people who are audio only can just tell there's a single lone tear rolling down my face. Maybe I'll get Ryan to make a clip just of that so people can find another reason to hate on me online. But no, dude, just I want to be real, because it gets kind of tiring hiding behind the character. Being the dragon, being college burnout all the time. So yeah, I'm just gonna give y'all some of that raw, that real. I mean, I take it if you're actually fucking listening to this podcast, you must be a fan of me. You must care a little bit. Unless you just came from Uncle Laser episode 1 and you're just a fan of him. But nah, dude, I want you guys to actually get to know me, not the 30-second clip version of me, or even the 30-minute YouTube version of me where I'm against all odds continuing to take fucking Adderall and drink 2 Reign energy drinks and scream at the top of my lungs at everybody. But yeah, dude, I just feel like I'm in such a weird place of life right now. So much just keeps changing. And I get that that's what life is. It's just always changing. But like, I feel like a little butterfly going through another metamorphosis. I don't know if that's the right word for that. I'm not a paleontologist or whatever the fuck. I'm finally having to sort of put the dragon to bed, if that makes sense. I guess you guys are going to find out soon on a full YouTube video, but for the podcast listeners, I'm finally just retiring from baseball. I've kind of done it all, not actually done it all, not being a successful baseball career by any means. But I've kind of done all that I can do at this point, and it's kind of time to be a big boy and put my wife and my children first, and this business first, and really even the fans first, and try to give you guys more, and not just more of me, but more of what I can create. Yeah. So for those of you that are fans, Nikki, my sweet little Asian boy that, basically he's my partner, helps me run the show. He's doing a great job right now. Recently, we handed off all of the YouTube editing to him. I've been pretty involved in it my entire social media career so far, and he's really taken a step up right now. The last few YouTube videos, 100% edited by him, and I think he's crushing it. He's finding his flow. We're bringing on Ryan fuck, what's his last name? Sorry, Ryan. Ryan's editing the podcast right now. Ryan Stokes, I believe. We brought him on as our third man recently. He's crushing it. And you know what? I'm actually, on that note, I'm going to rage out a little bit. I'll give you guys a little bit of some classic Dragon rants. Fuck everybody. Just fuck everybody. This is going back to what I was talking about with yappers. Motherfuckers who just love to talk about everything they want to do in their life, but don't fucking do it. I was lucky enough to find Nikki in my, end of my second, early third year of my social media career. I posted on my story, said I was looking for somebody, and he happened to be ripe and ready for the picking. He was young enough that he was vulnerable and available for the opportunity. But he's Asian, so naturally he was skilled enough and mature enough to handle the responsibility of it. And he's been my rock. He's been amazing. But as the business has continued to grow, we've been looking for that third guy. We've been looking for a new person to come in, help carry just the workload, because it's a lot to run this shit, a lot more than people really believe, or even maybe the systems that some of these other influencers have where they're just posting basic iPhone clips, and no hate to them. A lot of them are making way more money than I am. But we've just been looking for that third guy. And when I tell you we've tried at least 5 different people for that third slot, and they've just all let us down tremendously. I mean, it's fucking unreal. They love to hop on the phone and talk about all these things they want to do with their life. And they're great at envisioning. They're great at seeing the picture and, man, I really could, and dude, this brand, like, it really is about to take off. And then come time to put in the fucking work, people just disappear. They disappear, they stop communicating well, or they just get lazy and they don't turn shit in on time. They don't actually have the drive. I just think so many people in life are almost like they live their life as if it's a movie. But they live it as if it's the actual 2-hour version of the movie, where they think it can be this long, drawn-out, dramatic moment where they hit rock bottom and they're just like, oh, dude, like, I don't know where I'm going to go with my life. And then this opportunity presents itself, and it's like, burnout wants me to come be an editor. And this isn't just directed at the editors. This is life, man. People do this, and then when it comes time for the montage part of the movie where everything starts changing and you see them at their desk fucking grinding, where you see them in the gym fucking grinding, where you see them locked in for this long period of time where the real change happens, where the real growth happens, people don't live for that. They want it to be a movie. They want it to be a 2-hour window where they can ride off of that high, off of that motivation, and things can actually happen. And that's just not how life works. And I'm really fed up with it, because as much as I'm a yapper, I'm also a doer. And I might talk about 100 things I want to do with my brand, with my life, with my whatever. I might not do 99 of them. I might fail at most of them. They might fall apart. The wheels are going to come off. But 1 or 2 of those things I'm going to put my fucking head down on, and I'm going to go. I'm going to go do. So, I mean, dude, if you're listening, don't be that guy. Be a doer. If you have an opportunity, if you have a direction, if you have a vision for your life, if you've found God and you pray and you sit in that and you feel led in a direction, understand, dude, like, God can only do so much. You have to work. You have to labor. You have to work the fields, man, or else the crops, they just don't grow. It's not just spreading seeds. It's not just planning and picking. It's the day in and day out. So as much as it's fuck everybody, it's also don't be that. If you're a fan of me, and maybe this is tying into the why I want to get into the podcast stuff, why I want to be more authentic. I want to have that real influence on people, not just the silly, crazy, goofy comedian, which that's awesome. There's nothing I love more than making people smile, but I also want to change people's lives. I want to push people in the right direction. I want to push people towards God. I want to, I want to really change things. So, yeah, just don't be that fucking guy. Somebody out there is listening to this. One of my 12 weekly listeners on Spotify is hearing this and feels it resonating in their soul. Man, go do. Go do actionable change. I'm sure you've made 1,000 vision boards. You've talked to your homies over a beer 1,000 times about what you want to do, but you keep building too big and you keep falling apart. Set actionable steps so that you can actually change your life. Sorry, I'm getting on my phone, guys. Getting distracted. Doom scrolling during the first solo pod. Come on, dude. And on that note, man, to the people who are doing it, keep fucking going. If you are that person who has the vision and you're taking steps day in and day out to change your life, to build something bigger than yourself, to build something that the world doesn't have yet, but it desperately needs, keep fucking going, because I've been doing this for 5 years now, and there's been a lot of times where it didn't feel like we were getting anywhere. It still feels like that some days, where it's not changing fast enough. It's not growing fast enough. Like, I'm fucking 27. I have 2 kids. I have a wife, and I live in my brother's house for free. And before this, I was living in my parents' basement for free. And there's been a lot of pressure over the years. I don't feel like a man. I feel like I just feel like a little boy because I'm not financially independent, and so much of our westernized American culture kind of pushes that. Like, you have kids, you have a wife, you have responsibilities. Like, you should be completely financially independent. And there's been so much pressure, not just, obviously internally, because I'm a very motivated person, but externally. People in my family, people in my friend group that have just kind of tried to push me into like, bro, is it fucking time to just settle and get a real job? And I'm not saying that was never the answer. I'm not saying that isn't the answer for some of you guys who are still trying to make it happen. Because some of you guys, you do need to give it up. And that's on a real note. And that's for the people who just don't have it, okay? And I'm not telling you whether you do or don't. I'm just saying, realistically, some of y'all do need to get a fucking job. But for those of you who, like, those words just go right over your head, it's just not even a fucking afterthought. Stay on the grind, because it's starting to happen now. And it's been 5 years. It's been 5 years of mental breakdowns, the up at night, having a panic attack, pulling my hair out, crying to my wife, crying out to God, is this ever going to happen? Why are you leading me here? But, through it all, just staying as obedient as possible, working as hard as possible, staying in touch with God as much as possible, leaning on the people around you that you truly can as much as possible, and being okay with that. And it's starting to happen. I'm not making big bucks. For those of you guys who want a little insight into the creator world, the business is netting like anywhere from $4,000 to $9,000 a month right now, tops, and then you got to pay out employees, and you got to pay out subscriptions, and then you got to pay out, little fees here for, a shoot. We got to rent a field. We got to pay a bunch of camera crew to come out. We got to pay for props, pay for this, that, the other. A lot of months, dude, I'm just racking up credit card debt. Like, I'm just fucking going further into the hole. But it's slowly starting to change. It's slowly starting to open up and get to the point where I might start, even if I'm not balling, just not going further into debt, not sinking deeper into the hole, And it's beautiful, man. I'm not there yet, but I'm definitely able to say with pride and with gratitude that God's making things happen. So somebody out there needs to hear that, and you need to know, keep pushing. It's coming, and it's probably not today. It's probably not tomorrow or next week or next month or even next year. But if you dedicate yourself to something and you're led there by God, you will achieve it eventually. And kind of touching on that, I think one of the biggest changes I've made recently that has really shifted it, like in terms of tangible changes and steps, has been letting go of my ego and kind of battling addiction. And I'll kind of touch on both of those. I think addiction is one that probably has had the most influence. And it sounds ridiculous when I even talk about it, because really the only substance I struggle with is weed. And all the time I'll talk about it. And all the time I'll talk about it. And friends or people in my life will be like, dude, why do you talk about it like it's fucking heroin? Why do you talk about it like it's a hardcore substance? And it's because that's how it feels to me. That's the influence it has on me. You know, I started smoking weed when I was 15, and it was so fun. It was so lighthearted and just silly, and you felt that opening into almost a different dimension. It's a psychedelic to a degree, and I love it. I love it so much, honestly, guys. And as somebody who is extremely internally motivated and skilled in a lot of areas, and puts the pressure on himself like I do, it helps me to let go. It helps me to relax. And that's kind of what I've leaned on it as the years have gone on. You know, it was just fun, and it was just silly, and it was just like, man, all these fucking old people don't know what they're talking about. I'm just going to smoke. It's not that big of a deal, because I still got fucking phenomenal grades. I was on a academic hope scholarship for my college. I was dual enrolled in high school. So my junior and senior year of high school, I was just taking college classes exclusively. I was performing well on the baseball field. So you really couldn't tell me shit. Or at least that's what I thought. And then I get into college, and I'm a little in over my head. I'm at a school where I'm just not talented or skilled enough to play at. The social pressures got to me. I had to keep my grades in outstanding shape, because ultimately that was one of the main reasons I even made that team. And so I started to lean on it more and more and more to get away from the stress of just the day to day. But then it kept changing. And then it was like, well, my freshman year's gone by and I'm still not really playing. And, you know, my sophomore year is going by and I'm playing more, but just I'm not a full-time starter yet. And then my junior year comes around and I'm playing worse than ever. And we've got this new head coach, and it became a vicious cycle. And through the end of my career, I really got into a bad spot with it. And then in the years since my college career ended, it's been like that. It's just been like, I thought I could manage it. I thought, oh, like, if I could just like smoke once every 2 weeks, you know, that's like the perfect margin, which, like, if I could, that would be fucking great, but I can't. I fucking love it, because it starts off as once every 2 weeks. And then you get through it a little bit and you're like, well, I mean, it's been a week, you know, just maybe once on the weekends. And then it becomes, well, just the weekends. And then the weekend is technically Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But then sometimes you're extra stressed on a Thursday, or fucking that weekend really beat the shit out of me. Let me just have a little Monday break. And before you know it, it's just 7 days a week and you fall back in. And this is where, to me, it's worse than the hard drugs, because the hard drugs, you bottom out faster. You rock bottom faster. The people in your life give up on you faster. You run out of money and opportunities and health faster. But weed just killed me just slow enough. It it made me creative and looser and more relaxed that day. But then in the coming days, I was more foggy, more injury prone, more lazy, fucking more just dynamic, but not in a good way. Just always trying to change something up. And it's like that's part of, what these psychedelics do. It's what some of these neuroactive chemicals do. They stimulate you to form these new neural connections, and that's great sometimes. But sometimes you need to stop getting new connections. Sometimes you need to stop changing, and you need to just put your fucking nose down. And that's been a lot of the issue, man. That's why if you look at my content over the years, I've been so inconsistent. I have these great bursts of go, do, pop off, get hot, ride the wave, and then I and then I crumble under the pressure. I fall off. And some of it's like, I'm not gonna put all the blame on me like I'm such a loser. Because this industry is fucking hard. It's difficult. But if I could have leaned on God a little more, if I could have leaned on the people around me a little more, leaned on healthy routines and habits and discipline a little more instead of weed, I can only imagine where I would be by now. The injuries I could have avoided, the fall offs I could have avoided, the progress I could have made. And it's just been a huge thing. And it was sometime in February of this year, I finally I went back to this moment where I remember God speaking to me. And I don't want to get into the full story because it's for sure going to make me sound like I've got schizophrenia, which I don't think I have. I've done my fair share of mushrooms and LSD, but I don't think I ever went too far, you know what I'm saying? Just enough to get a little bit of demonic attachments in some areas of my life and develop addiction issues, but no schizo yet. But I just remember God, kind of telling me, look, man, you're never going to have a healthy relationship with this. You're never going to be able to manage this schedule you think you're going to with weed. It's going to consume you. And I don't know if it's just the nature of who I am. I don't know if it's the nature of weed, because I do know some people who, my wife, she doesn't fucking struggle with it. She smokes every now and then a day or two of smoking in a row, and she'll be like, oh, I'm tired. I feel like shit. And then she'll just stop for weeks. And I'm like, what the fuck is this superpower you have? But yeah, man, I'm really trying to stop, and I haven't been successful, to be brutally honest. I've fallen off quite a few times and just go back into those benders, and the wheels kind of come off. And luckily I have put in a lot of those sober stretches enough to build the foundation of the business to where I have people I can lean on now, like Nikki and Ryan. And I can afford to fall off and be a piece of shit a little more from time to time, but there's just still more work to be done. And since February, I don't know why I capped and said sometime in February. It was February 6th. I remember exactly, because I got this hand tattoo, the lightning as like a 2/6 of 2/6. That's when the last time I ever smoked weed. Dog, I made it like 70 days, that first stretch. I did pretty good. And man, I changed a lot. I really started, making a lot of great decisions and putting in a lot of great work and changing the structure of the business in a lot of positive ways. And things have really improved. And yeah, I'm not trying to completely demonize weed, because I don't think it's appropriate to completely demonize alcohol. You can make the same argument for food almost. That's maybe getting a little bit heretical, in terms of the Christian faith, because you need food in a literal sense. But, gluttony, the food's not the problem. It's you, it's your relationship with it. It's the way that you're choosing to manage stress and pleasure in your life, which has also been a little bit of an issue for your boy. Did hop on Retta TrueTide a little bit to snap some of that out of me. Healed a little bit of it. We're on and off. But gluttony's not the real issue. I can figure that shit out. I love to exercise enough. But yeah, man. So I don't know, if somebody's out there listening to this and you're sitting there in the same spot you keep finding yourself in, where you're asking, man, do I just need to give this up for good? Do I really need to admit to myself, like, I have a problem, and I need to lean on other people in my life, and I need to openly admit about this and pray on this? I hope this pushes you in the right direction for whatever your vice is, whatever your bad habits are, where you're seeking pleasure instead of discipline, where you're just seeking release instead of submission to God. Let me take a sip of my unflavored LaCroix real quick, guys. I know that's some white ass shit, but that's your boy trying to get a little sparkle, a little buzz, a little carbonation without getting the cows. Sue me. That was not a good burp. It was a sissy burp. Don't judge me, guys. Oh God, that one's not any better. It just sounds wet. Anyways, but yeah, and then the other major change I think I've made this year to improve my life was continuing to let go of my own ego. And I think I've always done a pretty good job of this. I was raised in a great family. I was always around the Christian faith. I was by no means ever perfect. I'm still not, obviously. None of us are. But, I always was pretty well-tempered. I've done a great job of avoiding fights and confrontation throughout my life, even when it was literally in my face and I had every right to. I've done a great job of giving credit where credit is due to the people around me. That's why I always try to promote Nikki. I always try to make other people feel important. Sometimes maybe I shrink myself down a little too much to try to let other people, have some shine or be able to feel more vulnerable in my presence. But, I've always done pretty good about handling my ego and my pride and my emotions. But I think where I've come to recently is like, I was too attached to myself as a content creator and myself as a baseball player, because when my college baseball career fell apart, I was a mess, dude. It broke me, and I was in a dark place for a long time, and content kind of gave me an avenue out of that, and I found myself again, and it felt like I'd found my true calling, where God really wanted me, but I was still able to attach to this identity of a baseball player that I'd always been my entire life. And it was awesome. I was able to love baseball again. I was able to have fun playing. And yeah, I went over the top for the content. A lot of energy drinks, a lot of Adderall, a lot of screaming, or just doing dumb shit for the cameras to make y'all laugh and rage bait people and get the clicks and engagement. But I truly did enjoy myself in this season of life playing baseball. And it allowed me to express myself and play and compete and go hard. And I was always carrying this chip on my shoulder because of my failed college career, where it was like, I'm going to fucking prove to everybody how good of a baseball player I am. You guys think I was a loser? You guys think I, wasn't good enough, or I never had the potential to go pro, or whatever it was. And, I poured all of that into this social media part of my baseball career and the videos on top of that, because as much as I did some impressive things, getting up to 90 on the mound, or, hitting balls 107 plus and winning home run derbies, or striking out pros, or getting hits off of pros, or, hitting a bunch of home runs in men's league, or winning the championship, all of that was awesome for the baseball part of my ego, for sure. But then there was the fame part, the clout part, where I was getting recognized so much and people were finally respecting me in a way that they hadn't. And as that follower count climbs, more people in your life that don't genuinely respect you for you started to give you a little bit more respect, a little more attention, a little bit more effort and energy. And you start to to wear that a little bit as like, I'm that guy. Like, I'm that dude. Sorry, I got distracted because I was trying not to say the N word. It's going to just start slipping out, guys. I'm sorry. I just grew up around a bunch of black people and I just love it. It's such a fucking great word. Not even hatefully. You guys did a great job bringing that back. Seriously. But yeah, just it really started to fill up my ego. And when you get millions of views on a video and hundreds of thousands of likes and comments from people riding your shit, and you're like, yeah, I made that. I created that. I built that. I edited that video. That the reason you're laughing is because of me, not just because I said that funny thing, but because I then edited the pieces together, and maybe I moved this soundbite over a little so that the timing was better, and I created these false moments that don't exist, but it doesn't matter because I made you laugh, and that's me doing it. I run the show. I'm College Burnout. I'm the guy. And it's kind of that ego, it was getting in the way because it's like, where is the next step? I don't want to be the king of JUCO. I don't want to be Coach Rack. I don't want to just be the star who runs a successful social media page, but then just always has to be that guy, always has to be on top of it and be in front of the camera. And it's a lot of pressure. And that's not where I want to take my life. And I think I always knew that. And God always told me that and put that on my heart. My goals are to build beyond that. It's to go way past that, to build businesses and just create more and bring things into the world that don't exist yet, but could benefit humanity. And God recently has just been like screaming that at me. And it's like, I kept waiting and saying, I can't take this next step, God, because you haven't brought me the success I'm craving here yet. I want you to make everything blow up. I want to be making tens of thousands of dollars a month personally. I want to have that house. I want to have a car. I want to have this super successful business model where I'm the main guy and I go do all the things and I get famous and I get widely renowned and respected as a baseball player and a content creator and the front man. And then once that happens, then I'm ready to step back, God. Then I'm ready to hand it off to some other people. Then I'm ready. Then once you do your part, God, I will then obey. And I will move on to the next step because that's my confirmation that you're here and you're working. But that's not how it works, obviously. And as I've sobered up and I've started looking at my ego, it was me slowing us down. It was my desire to continue being that guy, to reach that pinnacle first before transitioning. That's what was keeping me stuck because God did not create me just to be that guy. He didn't allow me to create this to be selfish with it. So he's been holding things back and saying, you don't want this. You don't want to be king of JUCO. You don't want that pressure. You don't, because when I get into the season and I am taking the Adderall and the energy drinks and it's ruining my sleep schedule and the stress is giving me panic attacks, and then I'm waking up the next day and hitting another energy drink to edit for 8 hours, just all to be able to say, it's me, guys. God knew that would have ruined me. He knew not only would it have ruined me, but I would have been stuck and I never would have gotten out of that. Because it's like a drug, but also the pressure. And so I've started to let go. I've accepted, like, man, into season 4, I actually started training my swing again. I actually started practicing hitting, and I had a great little stretch. 5 homers in 6 games, no big deal. 2 bombs in the playoffs. Home run in the catcher's gear. Home run is Batman. No big deal, guys. Let me stroke the ego one more time. But God gave me that. He gave me that moment. We won the men's league championship, and not just like, hey, we won it, but like I crafted the team. My name's on the jerseys. I led us there. My arm's healthy again. I met with Kirby Retzer, a phenomenal rehab guy. He's the guy who fixed Chris Sale's neck before he won Comeback Player of the Year in the Cy Young a few years back. My arm feels fucking great, you know? And I had my highlights as a pitcher. I had my highlights as a hitter. I went out and I finally fucking beat Eric Sim in the home run derby. And I checked the boxes, and as I've sobered up, God has just said, what more are you wanting out of this? Where else do you think you're going to go? Your arm's healthy and business is starting to kind of smooth out. So what am I going to do? Try to fucking throw 95 again? Try to go play independent league pro ball so that I can pat myself on the back and look at all these non-existent haters from my past and be like, yeah, look how great I can be. You know, that's ego. That's selfish. That's me working for me and not for God. And then on the content side, I was so scared to give more responsibility to Nikki because, he can't edit as good as me. He doesn't know, no matter how much I teach him, he's still young, man. He doesn't know how to piece together these storylines like I do. Because like at the end of the day, they're watching because of what I've crafted. He doesn't know how to build like I do. He's gonna, dude, we can't afford that right now. He's gonna shit the bed, and I'm gonna have to come in and save it. And it's just like, get off your fucking high horse, first of all. You know? Nikki's very talented, and he's young, and he's got a lot of time to figure it out. And in fact, he's got a lot of things that I don't possess in his bag as an editor. But it's also just like, let go. You can't do everything. You want to go beyond, and you're not stuck because God won't let you move forward. You're stuck because you won't let you move forward. You're holding on to these ideas of who you are and who you have to be that are either from you, not from God, or they're from the past, not your future. And I think I'm finally getting there. I think I'm finally making those changes. And obviously it's taken a lot of prayer and thought and self-reflection and great advice and wisdom from the people in my life, specifically my wife and my dad. But I'm letting go, and now I'm stepping back. You know, I've already filmed my last baseball game. You guys will see it here in the next month or so. It's the first game of the Race Ball Classic, that racist tournament that got fucked up because we got rained out, and then a bunch of Mexicans left their beer cans at the high school field, and long story short, we got fucking kicked out, so we're not going to be able to film the championship anytime soon, if ever. Fuck, that actually just got me pissed. I forgot where I was going. But yeah, I filmed my last game. And it's hard to swallow my pride and shrink my ego and say, but I built all of this. Why shouldn't I get to go out there and play and have fun and be the best player out there and be the main character? Why shouldn't I be able to do that? It's like, who are you working for? You, your ego, or God? And then why shouldn't I allow the production to maybe slow down a little bit and struggle and give these other guys these other responsibilities so I can focus on editing, so that I can say I put this together and I made these people laugh and I found the right moments. And it's like, well, you kind of answered it yourself. You're slowing down production. You cannot run a sustainable business this way. Look at how inconsistent you've been. I get hot and I pump out a few videos in a row. I can pump out 6 videos in 2 months and be like, oh, I'm on top of the world. We're making a bunch of money. But I crash and burn. It's where burnout comes from, because that's the way I fucking live. That's the way I do shit. But I'm trying to work out of that. And that's been, handing responsibility to Nikki and saying, Nikki, go fucking do it. Go figure it out. The floor is yours. And so those are the changes we're going through, man. And I think it's going great. My body is healing. Man, I fucked up my body doing this shit the last few years for you guys. Holy shit. For you guys and for me, my ego. I fucked up my body. I fucked up my left knee several times. Baseball, skateboarding. Blew the fuck out of my shoulder and my elbow, my neck. I was dealing with nerve damage. There were days I couldn't get out of bed. Like, I literally could not sit up. I would spend days just laying in bed staring at the ceiling because my neck was so fucked up. And then I would just go back out there and keep throwing. Shit would start tingling and I keep going. My back. Days where I'm just paralyzed in bed, pushing myself too hard in the weight room, keep swinging. Also smoking weed. But my body's feeling great now. It's healing. I go to the gym several times a week and I get to go do other little fun things and I get to play with my kids and I get to just feel good. And a lot of that's because I'm not having to be the guy anymore on the field. I'm still going to be in the dugout. I'm still going to be the head coach now. I'm going to get content. I'm going to be there being silly, but the pressure on my body and on my mind it's lightening up. And then, with Nikki handling so much more editing, I'm really taking a look at a lot of the business stuff now. And I'm able to take more of these brand deals where I used to turn my nose up and say, I don't have time for that video, this ad for $1,000. I don't have time for that. I'm so busy. Well, now I got time and I fucking desperately need it. And so, you guys might have seen I've been taking a lot more ads and posting a lot more ads, but I'm able to look at the business as a CEO and not a creative director anymore. I'm able to look at it as a CEO and not a pampered, glorified lead talent, lead athlete anymore. And it's helping us just make so many good decisions. So, man, I hope the content is great for you guys. I hope we continue to grow. I hope things are continuing to build in terms of the content, but really just, I know they will. I know things are changing and they're changing for the better. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like I was really struggling to kind of get going on this and figure out what I wanted to talk about. But like I told y'all, I'm a certified fucking yapper. Definitely almost cried a few times. Actually held it back. Ego's shrinking, but it's not that small yet where I'm able to post videos of myself just crying on the internet. I do love to cry though, man. I do love to cry. It's great to get it out. It's great to express yourself. Somebody out there right now needs to cry. Maybe you've cried while listening to the podcast. Good for you. Let it out. But, yeah, man. I don't know. I think I needed this. I think I needed to get this out. Not just these specific subjects, but just to be able to be Nick Tanner on the camera, on the mic, and talk to you guys about who I am and the shit I go through, and not just the funny, silly, crazy dragon guy. I've really appreciated this moment. Maybe I'll do some more of these. I don't know. Leave a comment. Let me know if you like this kind of stuff. Let me know if you have any topics you want to see me talk about. Speaking of topics, it's the 4th of July right now. I don't know when you guys are listening to this. I guess it depends how locked in our new editor, Ryan, is. But, man, I fucking love America. It's hard to say sometimes. Because I love America, the people. I love America, the identity. Not a huge fan of America, the government right now. But that's almost the most American thing you can feel. is being anti-government. That's really the root of it all, is against the tyranny, against the authoritarianism. Not to get too political on you guys. Not really for your sake, but super unprofessional. Goodness gracious. Yeah, not for your sake or anything, but I feel like people in my life are just tired of hearing me yap about conspiracies. And I don't feel like that. I know for sure people are. Mainly my brother and my dad. But yeah, that one dude posted a Patreon video investigating like the Jews in like Lakeshore, Lakeside, New Jersey, and got his whole fucking Patreon account removed. So I might actually stay off of the politics to wrap this video up. But yeah, man, fuck the system. Fuck all of the shit going on. You know, fuck the people at the top of the conspiracy, if you know what I'm saying. But don't let that harshen your perspective of America, which is the people. We, the people. And even further into that, do not allow your perspective of American people to become what you see on social media. You could see 3 million people on social media tomorrow that are posting the most retarded, idiotic shit ever, and it's less than 1% of the population, okay? The loudest, most ignorant, uneducated, ill-tempered voices are going to be the most heard, because that's what gets engagement and it's what gets clicks. But I promise you, no matter how much those people yell and scream their retarded ideas, no matter how much the powers that be promote these divisive ideologies in our media, on social media, through celebrities, just don't buy into it. Don't buy into it. Most of us are good people. Most of us are working in the right direction, even when we disagree. You know, don't let the hate consume you. Don't let these false ideologies consume you. Yeah, it happens to me too. I have a bad day where I get on Instagram and the algorithm can tell where I'm at with my life. And it just feeds me videos of black people doing ridiculous shit in public. And it gets me. And I'll start being like, maybe they are a fucking problem. God damn, fucking whatever. But again, it's just like, who do you want to be? You want that to be your perspective of humanity, of the world. You want to be that person lacking wisdom that immensely, that you allow your perspective of a people and a culture to be shaped by what the system is force feeding you. This fucking fly out of my house. I don't want to be that guy. I want to choose to see the best in people and to love and to build and to grow. And I'm not saying like, let's never hold anybody accountable. For sure, some people are being problems, but we're all problems sometimes, man. And a whole lot of yelling and fighting ain't gonna fix anything. So be proud to be American, guys. Happy 4th of July. It was nice to meet you guys. If you guys have never actually known who I am, if you're still listening to this podcast, holy shit, you're a trooper. I don't get it. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't know why you guys listen to me. But hopefully you did. And hopefully we're going somewhere. If you guys have any feedback for this shit, let me know. Go comment. And if you're a fan of us, go sub to our Patreon. It's $1. You get access to every single video we've ever posted. Everything we do now is highly censored. We have to remove 20% of the scenes because we can't monetize them on all the other platforms. And I don't put the video version of this Patreon out, or the video version of this podcast out anywhere but Patreon. And I'm also just eternally terrified that I'm going to make one too many Jew jokes on YouTube or Instagram or anywhere else, and all my accounts are going to get fucking banned. And I'm going to lose my ability to feed my family. So, man, if you're a fan, please sub to that Patreon. It's $1. And I'll be honest, it's $1 a month, okay? I try to leave that part out just to get you there. But it's $1 a month, Throw me a fucking dollar. Broke ass nigga. God damn it. Fuck. All right, whatever. Let's end on that. I love you guys. This was nice. I'll cry for you guys sometime soon.